ever. Yeah, that's crazy, man. All right, let's continue moving on here. This one here,
Oh,
it hurts so bad because these are two of
no.
my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Oh.
But Lewis, I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna let you go first on this one and let you
This is
try to decipher this one here because
oh my
this is tough for
god.
me. This is tough.
Kurt
This
Angle.
is tough.
Kurt Angle. My god. The man that made people want to drink milk again, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. And the fact that Kurt Angle started, the man's literally an Olympian, and to be as technically great and strong as he was in the ring, his performances with Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Brock, probably the greatest matches I've ever seen. And his intensity, his aggression, Team Angle, amazing. I didn't watch a lot of the stuff he did on Impact, but to even see clips now when people are like, making jokes like, "Oh, look, he's on this stuff," but it's just like
Kirk Angle.
I didn't want to say it, but I mean, hey, he admits it, but it's still his intensity in the ring was impeccable, and the fucking matches he had with Brock, even with Chris Benoit when he's doing the German suplexes going back and forth against each other because they were just the suplex machines and everything, like the angle slam, the ankle lock, like I don't know, he was just a great in-ring worker. Now Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, my God. Again, another person with a great intro, like Matt said. Fucking who wasn't saying they were a sexy boy? Like and dude, the Heartbreak Kid, like that's just like an amazing name. But another person who was amazing in the ring, so slick, so fast, so technically on point. I don't think I ever saw him have a bad match. His amazing match with the Undertaker, which I still think Undertaker died in that match when he jumped over the ropes and became the actual dead man. The stuff he did with DX and when it first started, and it's crazy to think how the real life stuff with him and Brett, as shitty it was for Brett, it's still made for amazing television, and it's still synonymous till today. People are still talking about the screw job and everything, but their feud was, and when Jim Ross again, he's accomplished his childhood dream. He's became champion. Like, what bad can you say about Shawn Michaels? Like, this man made the super kick, like the Sweet Chin Music is probably, I think, the best super kick that there ever is, and should have maybe been honored a little bit more instead of people just taking it 10,000 times. But
yeah,
and this, I don't know. This one's I don't have an answer right now because this is. I think I grew up more with Kurt Angle, but Shawn Michaels is just like another one that's just up there. This is really hard. I don't even know.
All right. I'll go then. All right. First of all, let me show my respect to Kurt Angle. I mean, like he says in his catchphrase, the man won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck, which was true in this little WWE biography on A&E, which is actually a very good one. If you guys haven't seen it yet,
I gotta catch those.
You gotta watch that. That was actually a very good one. They did
them to put him on the network,
breaking down his whole like amateur career before he came to WWE and such. But initially when he comes to WWE. He's the corny All-American. Talk about he's an Olympic hero, trying to get people to drink milk. But in that time, he wins the Intercontinental title. He wins the European title, and then eventually they go with him, and he becomes world champion. You see his mat style. I mean, they said initially when he came to the WWE and he was training, he took to it quicker than anybody, quicker than anybody, and to be able to adapt and to become the professional that he became in his prime, Kurt Angle in ring wise is top 5 all time as far as in ring work goes in match and like amateur match quality goes. But then I look at the man on the right. Daniel, like you said during the Roman Reigns and Randy Savage, you said that your brother would kill you if he picked Randy Savage. Well, my older brother will have some words for me if I do not pick Shawn. When we talk about Shawn Michaels, like Lewis, you mentioned Jim Ross talking about the boyhood dream has come true. But Jim Ross also once said that nobody has ever outperformed Shawn Michaels in a big match situation, which is 100% spot on. When you look at Shawn Michaels as far as WrestleMania goes in of itself, you talk about the ladder match with Razor Ramon, which set the standard for what the ladder match is today. You talk about the Iron Man match with Bret the Hitman Hart being two guys of that size to have a 60-minute match at WrestleMania. Then he gets hurt, goes away for a period of time, comes back
better
than he was in his prime. When he won the World Heavyweight title in that Elimination Chamber match, and he pinned Triple H in Madison Square Garden, that's probably one of the biggest pops I've ever heard in my life, especially with Jim Ross on commentary. It's the perfect moment. And then when you look at moving forward, the match that these two had at WrestleMania 21, probably one of the best WrestleMania matches of all time, which shows why these two men are in this category. But then when you look at WrestleMania 23, 24, 25, and 26, those were the greatest matches of those years because of Shawn Michaels. Especially the WrestleMania 25 match with The Undertaker. And then you got the WrestleMania 24 match with Ric Flair. And then when you think about character-wise with Shawn Michaels in the 90s when he initially became the Heartbreak Kid with his charisma, having Diesel by his side, which honestly he made Diesel. I mean, he made Kevin Nash. Kevin, even though Kevin Nash ended up becoming one of the worst drawing champions in WWF, Shawn Michaels made him. Shawn Michaels is I'm just saying.
Kevin Nash is going to come after
Shawn
you.
Got him there. Shawn got him. Being with Shawn is the reason why that happened. So anybody that Shawn was around, he made better. So as tough as this is. I mean, I say that, like, if you got, in my opinion, if you got a top wrestlers list, and I said Ric Flair, if you don't have Ric Flair as 1 or 2, it's a bad list. Well, if that's 1 or 2, you got to have Shawn Michaels. So, and that's just in my opinion. So because of that, I got to go Shawn Michaels. I mean, if it was up to me, if we weren't going by title race, Shawn Michaels will be a 1 or 2 seed in this tournament.
This is the craziest thing about it because, again, I'm going to start with Kurt Angle. As you said, the rookie year that he had, Intercontinental Champion, European Champion, King of the Ring, World Heavyweight Champion. Its ability to come in the wrestling world, be as charismatic as he was, be as comedic as he was, and be able to have all those accolades like that. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. His ring work is second to none. I think he's the best in-ring worker I've ever seen. Of course, we have Daniel Bryan, we have AJ Styles, we have other guys like that. Kurt Angle can go with all those guys, wrestle different styles, hang with the speed of Rey Mysterio at SummerSlam 2002, to battle The Undertaker at No Way Out in 2005, I believe. 2005, right?
Yeah.
Just all these accolades. Like, when you think about Kurt Angle, the versatility, the ability to go against anybody. The battles with Brock Lesnar, the battles with The Rock, the battles with Austin, the battles with Shawn Michaels, the battles with Eddie Guerrero. Like, you think about Chris Benoit, all the guys that he's wrestled technician-wise. I think what hurts him is that he left WWF. They went to Impact, went to a smaller promotion, made that a bigger promote. Well, not bigger than WWF, but in terms of just made you watch Impact, especially for me, The only reason why I watched it was because of Kurt Angle. I've peeked in on Impact and TNA a little bit here and there, but when Kurt Angle went, I watched it.
now, those were the real Perk Angle days.
like Kurt Angle versus Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Christian Cage, Sting, anybody who you wanted to, that whole list of reign, and I think that hurts him a little bit because a lot of people didn't watch that. But Kurt Angle on his best day can hang with anybody. Anybody on this list, he can hang with him. I just respect the Kurt Angle. I think he's one of the best wrestlers, if not the best wrestlers I've ever seen in the ring. But then there's the showman that's unfortunately next to him in this bracket. There's Shawn Michaels. Like, we all remember Shawn Michaels on the Rockers being a tag team guy, the switch to the Heartbreak Kid coming out with Sister Sherry, all of that, the promotion, the showmanship. Shawn Michaels was that guy. And especially in that era where smaller guys wasn't getting over, he was the guy to get over. He was the guy to have pull. He was the guy to have charisma. He was the guy to start the politics backstage. That shows how impactful this guy was. He got Triple H over. He got the New Age Outlaws over. All these people that were cemented around him, he was able to make them bigger around him. Continuing going on, working with younger talent, continuing to just progress. And when you think about his last title reign was what? 04? Like his last title reign he was in those main event spots. He never won, but you just think about how impactful those matches were. Again, I don't think Shawn Michaels has ever had a bad match. I can't call it, even with a bad back. I remember him returning at SummerSlam 2002 against Triple H in the street fight. That match, especially where you thought where he was when people were saying that he was never going to come back. He came back. In the first half of his career is Hall of Fame worthy. The second half is ridiculous, especially into old age, especially all those WrestleManias, like Brian said, 23, 24, 25, 26. Like, those are multiple main event matches that he's had. Like, took out Ric Flair. You think about Ric Flair is tied to he's tied to Shawn Michaels. John Cena is tied to Shawn Michaels. Him and Undertaker are kindred spirits. They are tied forever.
Exactly. That's exactly what they are. Exactly. That's a perfect.
When you think about wrestling, they are tied together. And those people that I've just mentioned are in this GOAT bracket. Shawn Michaels has rubbed shoulders with those people when he wasn't supposed to be. And for that, I'm going to pick Shawn Michaels just because how incredible he was in terms of his first half of his career and his second half of career. There's nothing else to be said about it. Like, he's that great. Like, he's greatness. Like, as Brian said, I don't know if he's one or two or whatever the case may be in the list, but if you're talking about wrestling and you're talking about the greatest of all time and he's not on your list, something's wrong with you. You did not watch wrestling. And I love Kurt Angle, but I just got to go Shawn Michaels.
It's Shawn.
That's Shawn Michaels. Absolutely Shawn Michaels.
As much as I love Kurt, and he was like that.
It's Shawn Michaels
on SmackDown for me. Like, you know, Kurt was like you said. I watched Kurt, like, as much as I hated him when he was a heel, but when he was like a babyface, it was like you rooted for this guy to win because his intensity was just unmatched, and you know, he made people better. But Shawn Michaels is just, you know,
and it's crazy to think about it because Kurt Angle was a heel a lot of the time in WWF.
Yeah, for sure. He was, for sure. I remember when Chris Benoit took his medals and then
put them in his pants.
And he took him out and kissed him.
Yep. Wasn't it between him and Chris Benoit that he shaved his head? Or was that him and Chris Jericho?
That was him and Edge.
That was Edge.
Oh, Edge. Okay. Huh. I can't remember that one. I thought I did.
That was because of the King of the Ring. That was because of the King. It was a little bit after the King of the Ring, I think.
I don't know why I mostly remember when Chris Benoit took his medals, and he was like, "Oh, like you look gross."
But yeah, it's Shawn Michaels, man. It's Shawn Michaels. Yeah. We can continue to move on. Probably the most divisive